The ring had barely touched her finger when the phone rang. It was midnight. My son was asleep upstairs, the house dark except for the faint glow of the lamp. My fiancée had gone to bed smiling, her hand trembling with excitement as she admired the diamond. I stayed behind in the silence. The call came from a number I'd erased 5 years ago, a number that should have burned to ash with her. My wife's old phone. I answered with a shaking breath. Static. Then a voice. Her voice. Don't marry her. The air left my lungs. I gripped the phone so tightly my knuckles popped. Leave the town, she whispered. Take our son, please. And then the line went dead. The silence that followed was worse than the words. Because my wife had been dead for 5 years. Or at least, that's what I had believed. Grief is a cruel teacher. I had buried her twice, once in the flames and once in the memories. I had accepted her absence, raised our son alone, and stitched together some fractured idea of a future. But that voice, it was her. I knew it. Not similar, not close. Her. The next morning, I looked at my fiancée differently. She was radiant, humming in the kitchen, sliding toast onto plates as if nothing had shifted in the world. She wore my ring proudly, and yet, when her eyes met mine, I felt something sharp. She looked away too quickly. That was when I realized this wasn't just a haunting. This was a warning. Had I been living inside a lie for 5 years? If my wife was alive, then the fire had been something else. And if she was dead, then who was speaking through her phone? My fiancée touched my hand across the table. You're quiet, she said softly. I smiled. I kissed her fingers. I played the role of the man she believed me to be. Inside, I was already dismantling everything. I started with the number. It was registered under no name. Disposable. Yet it had pinged from a tower 2 towns away in the direction of the place where the fire had taken her. I didn't tell my fiancé. I didn't tell my son. I moved like a ghost through my own life, smiling at work, holding my child, kissing the woman in my bed, while every night I dug deeper. Phone records, financial trails, hospital registries. And one thing kept surfacing. My fiancé's name. She had been near that address the night of the fire. She had volunteered at the clinic where burn victims had been treated. She had withheld that fact from me, though she spoke often of honesty. And my son, the thought cut like glass. I ordered the test in silence, dropping the swab into an envelope. My hand shook as I sealed it. 2 weeks. That's how long it took. 2 weeks of lying next to her, hearing her whisper promises of forever, while I waited for the truth to crawl out of the shadows. The envelope was thin, almost weightless, but when I opened it, my entire life collapsed. Probability of paternity, 0.0%. My son, my boy, not mine. I sat in the kitchen, the paper flat against the table, my breathing steady. My fiancée walked in, humming, wearing the ring. She froze when she saw the document. Her lips parted. Color drained from her face. You knew? She whispered. I didn't answer. I only looked at her, calm, steady, like a man staring into the ocean while the waves swallowed his house. Tears came fast, excuses faster. It was before us. It was complicated. I didn't mean. I slid the paper toward her, the silence louder than her sobs. She crumbled. I did not. I picked up my phone, dialed back the number that had called me, the ghost of my wife. The line connected. My fiancée's phone lit up in her pocket. Her breath caught. Her eyes widened in horror. You sent the message, I said flatly. She broke, dropping to her knees, grabbing at my hands. I was scared. I didn't want him to grow up without you. I pulled away. You let me believe my wife was dead. You let me raise a son who wasn't mine. You built a future on ashes, then smiled while I bled. Her sobs filled the room. I left her there. I didn't pack much, just a bag, my wallet, and the paper that proved the truth. My son slept as I kissed his forehead one last time. He wasn't mine, but he had been my whole life. That, too, was ashes now. I walked out of the house without noise. Outside, the night was cold, sharp, and clean. For the first time in years, so was I. There was no grief left, no anger, only clarity. She had played her game, I had uncovered it, and I had taken back what she could never touch again, my silence. I lit a cigarette, exhaled slowly, and whispered into the dark. I buried one ghost. Tonight, I buried two.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and comment. Subscribe now to Cheating Stories Insight World for more amazing stories.